Why is this show not a gong show?
This show's kind of a gong show.
Yes.
By the way, remember I had mentioned about changing the format, Tyler?
Uh-huh.
Going back and listening to when we were doing like current episodes, we're not changing the format. The format's fine for, I think for this, like for how we're recapping stuff, it feels a little like labored. But when you're talking about a fresh episode, there's way more like banter and stuff. I think. Anyways,
Fair enough. Yeah, it's your show, man. Whatevs.
whatevs. Yeah, I thought like we need to cut it down to like 20 minutes, and it's like, I don't know. I like our rambling sometimes.
Word.
All right. Anyways,
And who?
what is up, everybody? Welcome to Rabble of Thrones. My name is Chris Taylor. With me in the Rabble HQ in a new location yet again, we've got Tyler Hoskin
Hello.
and Mark Bunn.
Yeah.
And
No
over,
flags.
no flags, just a wall, and not in a living room, not weirdly echoey.
No.
No.
That's
no,
good.
No echoes. It's
Yeah.
it's nice.
It's good.
No dog and kitty in the background.
It's true. And in the Rabble brothel, we've got Taybert.
Hi.
Door is shut, it looks like.
Door is shut.
Bedroom door is shut.
Oh.
I am home alone today.
The
Yeah,
brothel.
no, brothel closed currently. Just home alone today.
Taking
Saw
a
each
day
other
off.
all weekend.
Well, that's good.
We need some time now.
So you're like Jon Snow and Ygritte. That's what
Yeah.
you are. So then that's how this episode starts. And they're trotting along. Did they even like nothing happened? It's just
No,
like
just some words of wisdom from the
yeah, pirate dude, whose name I don't even care what it is. He's the Pirates of the Caribbean dude.
And Office, the original Dwight.
And he was in the office. And he just John's like, "Oh, you cut me loose." And he's like, "I cut her loose too. She's not all pissy about it."
grow a fucking
Yeah.
pair of balls.
Yeah, so I mean, yeah. We get the sense that he's, well, we've always gotten the sense that he doesn't like Jon Snow very much.
What?
Yeah,
I thought they were best buds.
he doesn't like him.
Bros.
So, yeah,
Poor
so
that guy, never gonna be a leading man.
yeah, well, he's too weird looking to be a leading man.
I know, if you're an actor like him, are you like, do you go for Brad Pitt's roles, or are you like, I'm gonna be Oren, the guy that sees through hawks? Like, you realize that's your
His name is
lot in
Oren.
life. It's
I-
Orel or something.
I
I have a
wouldn't
friend
even-
named Oren. I got mixed up.
Okay. Makes sense. Okay, so
Like,
then
do you resolve that that's your lot in life, though?
yeah, pretty much you're just like, I'm only ever gonna play the weird guy.
It's Orel.
Yeah. There you go. There you go. Thanks, Tyler. Glad
Anytime.
you're here. So next scene is Rob and all his dudes in the tent. They're complaining about the weather, and it's gonna cause them to be delayed getting to Walder Frey's place.
Wah.
So Walder Frey, they're like, oh, he's not gonna like this. He's gonna take it as a slight. And
It's the best
no,
thing
it was-
that ever happened to his family.
yeah, that's right. But before this, the Blackfish says he's taken wet shits that he's liked better than Walder Frey.
Yes.
Which
And then, sorry, milady.
sorry, Your Grace. And she's like, I can handle wet shits. So, yeah. So then Catelyn's like, yeah, he's gonna take this as a slight against him, and Rob's like, fuck him. This guy's the best match his family could ever ask for, even though they were supposed to get a king. God damn it, Rob. Such
I
an
know.
idiot.
Hindsight with this.
Yeah.
Keep your dick in your pants.
So then, everybody like fucks off out of the tent, and one thing leads to another, and Rob and Talisa do their thing. So then she rolls over, and it's all butt. Like, this whole scene is all her ass, and she's
Yep.
writing a letter.
You get no titties.
When she rolled,
side-
kinda.
Hey,
Yeah.
this is Charlie Chaplin's granddaughter.
Side boob.
Respect.
What?
So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, did you? She wasn't on when we discussed that.
Yeah.
That makes me hate her more.
Wow. Well, don't worry. She's about to get stabbed in the baby. Spoilers.
Stabbed
Spoilers.
in the baby.
So
Spoiler.
she's writing a letter, and he's like, "Oh, who you writing to?" And
What? She's pregnant?
she's like, "Yeah, I'm writing a letter to my mom." Yeah, right. It was Tywin. I remember
love
thinking that.
conspiracy
I
theory.
remember no, but I don't think it is anymore. Like I thought it at the time. I thought like maybe she is a traitor.
Well,
Like,
because
just-
there isn't much longer where I can be smug and booky.
You said the exact same thing in the episode I listened to today.
I know. This is it. Like, this is it where I can be. It's these recaps, so I need
Yep.
these.
Right.
Because next season's going to be new to everyone, so I'm just going to push up my glasses again.
Yeah.
So in Bookie books,
Yeah.
we talked about this. She doesn't die,
Right.
and you get there's the implication that her family had something to do with turning on the Starks
Okay.
to better her lot in life.
So it's still no, because she's fucking dead. Yeah. So I guess
Yeah.
I don't think it is, but I remember this scene specifically. I'm like, man, she's writing a letter.
Well, she could have, and it's just she bargained to have a better stake, and the Lannisters were like, nah, we're gonna kill you too, or maybe someone went nuts
Right.
and killed her and wasn't supposed to.
Right.
I like this. I don't know if we'll ever know. We'll find out if they recap it at the beginning of the season. But
Right. So she's like trying to teach him like words in Valyrian, and he can't pronounce them because he's stupid.
Good try, babe. Good
Yeah.
try.
So
does this rewatch make you guys hate him more? Because it makes me hate him a little bit more.
yeah, absolutely. Like so many dumb things he does.
Yeah,
He does
I would
so
say
many
hate
dumb
him. I think he's just being dumb.
Yeah, he's just a kid. But like in my original watch of this, he was heroic,
Right.
and
Yes.
now it's like, you're a stupid kid.
Yeah, I agree with that. So she says, "Oh, you should come to Volantis and meet my mom, and we'll show her our grandchild or her grandchild." And he's like, "What?" So what? So, yeah. So she's knocked up. Way to go, John, Rob, whatever. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter.
Blah blah blah. Both dead.
Blah blah blah. She's knocked up.
Wow.
So, speaking of knocked up, this next scene starts with Tormund giving John some advice on how to sex up the ladies. And my note here literally says, "Are you okay, Tay?" So, were you okay watching this scene? You okay? We didn't get one of these.
Yeah.
I believe he said get them as wet as a seal or something.
Already there, Tormund. Oven's preheated.
It was just really funny. I'm like, oh, I totally forgot that this was a scene.
Yeah, me too.
So
There was some pausing.
was it when he was thrusting whatever?
Then some vigorous fast forwarding.
A nice loop.
Mm-hmm.
Just have that scene on loop.
Just over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's make a gif out of it.
Yeah.
You know what? I bet you I could find one.
Tay's already on it.
Yep. Tormund humping GIF. Google image search. Brip. So then Pirates of the Caribbean dude pulls Ygritte aside, and he's obviously jealous of Jon.
Yeah.
And, she calls him on it. She's like, oh, you're jealous. And he's like, oh, you like him because he's pretty. You should like a real man. He's like, I'd treat you right.
Mm-hmm.
But she's not interested because he had the weird eye. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, he doesn't have the weird eye in this, but he had a wooden eye in Pirates of the Caribbean. You don't want anything to do with the
Like,
wooden
I've seen
eye.
that movie.
Yeah.
Pretty.
It fell on the floor like 100 times, and then you would just put it right back in. You wouldn't even wash it off. Just put it in. Oh, it's disgusting.
Found it. Just
There you go. I was gonna say.
yes.
Of course you did. We saw the smile grow, so obviously you found it.
Found it.
So then we go to Sansa, and she's crying because she has to marry Tyrion, and Marjorie's trying to like console her, and she's what I like in this is Marjorie's like, my son is going to be king, and he's gonna learn boys learn from their mothers, and I'm gonna teach him a lot of things, and I like that she understands like, hey, Joffrey's Joffrey, and he his mother sucked, so I'm gonna I'm gonna raise a king that's gonna be a king. And so she's like, well, when you have a king, your son will be Lord of Castle Rock or Lord of the North or whatever. So and that's gonna be your son. And she's like, and then Sansa realizes oh wait, that means I gotta have sex with Tyrion. And she's like, I don't know, how would that work? Because I'm so tall and he's so little, and and then Marjorie's like, well, girls like different things, they just don't get to try it all.
And obviously Sansa's not heard about Tyrion's legacy,
right? And that's right. And she's like, I hear he's quite experienced, so he's probably pretty good at it.
And apparently hung. Remember?
What's that? And that's we don't find that out until there was actually. Anyways, we had an interesting question about how much Theon's cock would be worth, which I totally forgot we had that discussion. 1.5 is what we landed on, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. So, okay.
Things you learned when listening back to our podcast.
Yeah. It was an interesting podcast to listen to, that's for sure. So
did we segue into that scene? Is that the next one?
No. Not quite. They're still talking, and and then Sansa asks where did you learn all this stuff? Did your mother teach you this? And Marjorie's like, yeah, my mom, that's right. Yeah. It's not cuz I'm a hoe. So
I've been married a couple times before.
That's right. So then we go to Bronn and Tyrion, and they're discussing the fact that Tyrion has to marry Sansa. Now, you guys are gonna be shocked when we get to the scene because it's coming up, but I don't want to. Forget it. You're gonna be shocked. That's all I'm gonna say. All right. So Bronn is saying to Tyrion Tyrion's like, she's just a child. And Bronn's like, well, come on, what's the youngest girl you've ever been with? And he's like, well, older than her. And Bronn's like, well, okay.
That's older.
Are you sure?
Yeah, whatever. And then so Bronn's big suggestion is well, just take Shay with you. You just still got her. You bang one, make her pregnant, and then you have the girl that you really want on the side.
Mm-hmm.
Can't we all live that way?
Right. I'm getting the weirdest look. Hey, baby, I'm not talking about real life. It's Game of Thrones. Is that what
Lindsay walked into?
Yeah. She literally bad.
This is what she walks into.
Yeah. I'm probably going to be living on the street next week, guys. So I'll be at your place for the podcast.
Just call up your side chick.
Have a dust protector for your controller.
That's right. And I will take it with me. It's right here.
I think that's called a condom, Mark.
Anyways, so and then the very last thing Bronn says to him, he's like, well, you want to fuck that Stark girl, don't you? And Tyrion just kind of doesn't really answer, Whoa.
Remix.
We're getting the echo.
How's that? Is that better?
Much better. Thank you. The remix was cool, though.
Nope.
So this might be my favorite scene of the whole episode. Tywin going to see Joffrey in the throne room. And so he gets to the throne, and Joffrey's sitting there, and he's like, I want to be counseled on what's going on in the small council meetings. And Tywin's like, all right. so he's like, why are you having them in the chamber, like way up the stairs in the what was it, the Hands Tower or something? And Tywin's like, well, that's where I work, and it makes sense for me to have them there, and then I don't have to go anywhere and waste valuable time. And
It's like, well, you're gonna make me walk?
yeah, so now I gotta walk up all those stairs, and he takes like a couple steps forward, and he's like, we can arrange to have you carried. I'm just like, and just like Joffrey's face like drops because this is it. Like Joffrey's like, this guy has all the power.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
It's power and fear of him whatsoever.
right. And so he's like, well, tell me about the Targaryen girl in the east. And he's like, you don't need to worry about that. He's like, well, she's got dragons. And he's like, well, there was dragon heads all around here, and the last one was like the head was the size of an apple. So we don't got to worry about this dragon girl. And Joffrey's like, okay.
Fast forward 3 years.
Yeah.
Big motherfucking dragons.
And, well, I mean, and
You won't even get to see it.
that's right. He'll never get to see the dragons. Poor Joffrey.
No poor Joffrey.
Well,
No pity.
maybe a little.
No, none.
He's going to be at Fan Expo this year, eh?
Is he?
Yeah.
Joffrey?
Yeah.
Right.
Spring tomatoes, just whip it at him.
No way.
Yeah, that would be fun, right? So, so then he says that he wants to be counseled from now on, and Tywin's like, all right. And that's kind of like the end of the scene, but like Tywin just wasn't putting up with any of his shit. So then we go to Yunkai, and Daenerys and the boys rolling up, and they're like, we don't even have to stop here. Like, we can just keep going. And she's like, well, how many slaves are there? And they're like, 200,000. And she's like, well, we have 200,000 reasons to stay. So,
I think she gets offered a pretty good deal.
I think so too. So she says to Grey Worm, tell the masters to meet me here, and I'll accept their surrender. And so dude comes rolling up with all his slaves, and they're carrying him, and he's like walking by the army of the Unsullied, which is like such an intimidating way to like go to a meeting. Yeah, Mark's actually there. He's there. Mark, can you move a little so Lindsay knows you're actually alive and it's not... There you go. So anyways.
It's just, I got a cardboard cutout.
Right, you got a cardboard cutout of Mark? That's actually a good idea.
Oh, you could get the video to loop him.
That's true. Yeah, just a GIF. We'll get a GIF of Tormond as well.
There you go.
Yes, we should do that.
Our podcast. What?
What's going on, guys?
So he rolls up. He
I'll
gets
be
out of
busy.
his thing, and Missandei like rhymes off all her titles, like so many titles: Breaker of Chains, Mother of Dragons, First of the Andals, yada yada.
Ass, yo.
Yeah, she's the real deal. So the guy's like, "Hey, man, we're generous, so we got all this gold," and they drop the gold on the in the chests. And she's like, okay, cool. And he's like, and then there's more gold on the ships we're gonna give you. And she's like, ships, cool. And he's like, yeah, all the ships you need to go to Westeros and leave us the fuck alone.
Get your throne back. Go home.
Yeah, get out of here. We
Yeah.
we're good here. We don't need you hanging around. So, oh yeah, sorry, I forgot about the check out my dragons, like just like ridiculous, like they like fly around the room.
I'm just gonna throw this piece of meat into the air and see
Right.
what happens.
Yeah, check it out. They go crazy.
I
So,
just want to scare you.
yeah, so she basically tells him, no, that's not what we're going to do. You're going to free all the slaves and give them money, or I'm going to come in there and kill y'all. So,
Yep. That's that.
so that's that. Oh, and then he goes to take the gold back. And she's like, nope, that's my gold now. You gave it to me. And I mean, technically, she's right. They did give it to them.
Yeah.
So,
Here is gift.
yeah, enjoy. All right, so the next scene is the Shay Tyrion scene. And
That's
here's
fine.
where you guys are going to think I'm crazy. I'm siding with Shay on this. And I'm going to tell you why. Because Bronn is right. Tyrion wants to fuck Sansa. And this is the problem. So he says to her, you know, I'm going to marry you. I'm going to marry Sansa. I'm going to do my duty by my father, for my family. I'm going to do my thing. And she's like, why don't we just leave? You said that, you know, like, we can just leave this place and we'll go somewhere else and we'll be happy. And he's like, no, I have to do my duty to my family. And that's fine, right? He's right. But his suggestion is that you're going to stay and I'm going to bang you on the side and I'm going to set you up in a nice house and I'm going to give you all the servants and nice clothes. And if we have any kids, they'll be taken care of. And she's like, we're not having any kids that aren't going to see their father or know who their father is. And she's like, and then what happens, like, when you get sick of me, you're just going to cast me aside. And she's absolutely right.
So
She is absolutely right. All he wants to do is have his cake and eat it too.
At this point, do you think Shay is turned and gone to fuck his dad?
This is, well, I don't think that's necessarily.
This is the TSN turning point.
But this is the TSN turning point, and all this, I felt like, not sorry for Tyrion, but all of this, like, where I felt like Tyrion got a raw deal. I don't feel that anymore. He had a choice here to say to her, listen, here's what we're going to do. We got to stop, or we're going to run away, or something like that. But saying, I'm going to marry this chick, and then I'm going to keep you on the side, that's not the way to go about this. Not with someone.
What woman wouldn't want to hear that?
Exactly.
Who doesn't want to be a side chick?
Exactly. That's exactly what I'm saying. Because if he loves her, then he'd leave. If he actually loved her, he would leave. They would take off and they would just leave town. Whatever that means. No?
I don't know. Without getting into romantic history, like, it's a little bit like, I don't know if he explained it in a nice way. Me, I don't know. In a nice way,
he says, "Listen, I love you, but you got to be my side chick
for now."
What do you mean for now? There's no for now. It's forever.
Is it forever?
Of course it is. Or hold on. He could say this. He could be like, "Listen, I'm gonna marry her. You're gonna be my side chick, and then in a year and a half, I'll have her killed." That's his only other option. But he's not going to do that because he's not going to kill Sansa because he feels bad for her. And deep down, he is a good dude.
Mm-hmm. I want to think I'll do anything for true love.
Right. And
but
so
I guess it's like, hey, run away with me and we're going to have absolutely nothing. Like, this beautiful, incredible life of luxury that you love, that you've come accustomed to, we're going to have nothing. But you're going to have me.
But his life, his life is not better with Sansa, and he kind of knows that that's. I just think.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think this is an interesting analysis of this scene, and I'm angry with you for making me sympathetic towards Shay in the slightest.
Right? Hey, you know I don't want to be sympathetic towards Shay, but.
But yeah, I guess it's the girl that's with the guy that always promises to leave his wife.
Right.
And he never will.
And he never will.
He never ever will.
Ladies, he never will.
Ladies, he never will.
He has no intention. Because if he did have an intention to do that, he would have already done it.
Amen.
But this isn't interesting because he wasn't with the wife yet. It was just, this is what I have to do. But then this is a different. Because
if I don't,
because I hate Shay.
Because if I don't, my daddy, the most powerful man that we just showed the scene before, he's the most powerful man in the whole world.
He's making me do this.
He's making me do this. But he has a choice to run away. He has that choice, and he could easily do it. And yes, they won't have... He could steal a bunch of shit on the way out.
He'd have nothing.
But he could steal a bunch of shit on the way out, enough to live on for a while. I don't know. All I'm saying is, if it was a love thing, and I love you, and I want to be with you, he would have done it.
But I love you, and this is best for us. And give me time, baby. I swear I'm going to leave my wife.
He never said that, though. He never said, give me time, and this will be better. He just said, I'll take care of you. You'll have a nice place. You'll have nice clothes and servants. And I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I think it depends on what you want out of life.
Right. And who doesn't want to be the side chick?
If you're just happy being rich, banging a rich guy on the sneak, and having a kick-ass life.
Right. But maybe she
you'd
just
be okay with it.
Maybe she just wanted to be with him.
Yeah. Maybe she just wanted no strings.
Right, maybe. So, alright, enough of Shay, because we gave her way too much time.
No, screw you for making me even
I'm sorry.
quasi-sympathetic towards her.
I'm sorry, because my first note, she starts talking, and I just typed, Shay is so fucking stupid. And then I'm like... and then I'm just like, no, I'm giving her more credit now, because, like, as I'm watching this scene, I'm like, he's saying all the wrong things. Like, all the wrong things. Everything that's going to make her have her turn later. And it's all his fault, and I have very, very little sympathy for him as to what happens later.
I guess it just depends on what their relationship was based on. Because I always got the sense it was based on, you will always be my side chick, and we could never actually be together. I don't know.
Right,
Anyways.
but the thing is his father will die at some point, even before he shoots him with the crossbow.
And
he was
then
still
we'll be together.
Right, and then, like, I mean, there's always that... Because as soon as Tywin's out of the picture, then they can be together, and it doesn't matter. I don't know. Again, I don't know. I don't know. There's ways to do this that doesn't lead to what it leads to. So again, I have a little more sympathy for her.
But might be the TSN turning point.
This is the TSN turning point. This is absolutely it. And I'm mad at myself for not catching it sooner, but I roll my eyes every time she's on the screen because she's such a terrible actress.
Yes, she is.
So then we go to Gendry and Melisandre rolling through King's Landing, and he sees all the wrecked boats, and he's like, "Oh man, what happened here?" And she's like, "Oh, Dragonfire. I wasn't here, but I should have been." Or what did I say? Dragonfire? I'm an idiot. Wildfire. That too. She's like, "I should have been here, but I wasn't." And so Gendry still has no idea who he is, and right. So she lets him know, like, hey, you're the bastard of Robert Baratheon, and you've got King's blood. Like, she's like, why do you think the Gold Cloaks are after you? So, I don't know. So she tells him that there's power. There's power in King's blood. Oh boy, is there. Yep. Oh, poor Gendry. So then we go to Arya with the brothers without banners, and she's all pissy because they sold Gendry.
Yeah.
And Beric's like, I didn't really like selling him, and she's like, but you still did it. And he's like, well, I didn't want to.
But you did it.
And he's like, but when the one true God says, hey, I need something, then you got to do it. And she's like, well, I only believe in one God. And he's like, oh yeah, what's that? Death. So So then they get the word that there's some there's like a Lannister raiding party. So like, oh, we're gonna go get these guys. And she's like, no, we're supposed to go the other way. And they're like, we'll do it in a couple days. And so she takes off because, why not? And then she gets out into the woods and the Hound grabs her, which is like super scary because it's like, what's he gonna do with her?
But then we know it's one of the most beautiful friendship and pairings.
He has a heart of gold.
It's like Harold and Maude.
Right. That's exactly what it is. It's awful. Because it's not like that at all. All right, so then Jaime's leaving the Harrenhal, and Roose is already split. Or no, Roose is leaving, or
Bruce
has already.
splitting. No, he says. Tell Pops I say hi.
Yeah, and he's like, oh, I gotta get to this wedding that everyone's talking about. So Jaime's like, we find out that Brienne's staying with Locke, and that's right. No, this is him talking to Brienne, right? Yeah, sorry, this is him talking to Brienne, and we find out that Roose is going to the wedding and that she's staying with Locke, and Jaime says to her, I owe you a debt. And she's like, well, we both swore to Catelyn Stark that we would get her daughters back to her. So you do that and consider the debt paid. And he's like, all right. So now he's downstairs getting on the horse, and Qyburn's helping him out. And he's such a helpful dude. This is when he sees Roose, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's like...
Say
oh yeah,
Pop.
Roose says, say hi to your dad for me, and then Jaime's like, okay, well, tell Robb the Lannisters send their regards.
Yeah. Unbeknownst to him, hey, I'm going there to
give them our regards.
The Lannisters send their regards.
They sure do. So this next scene, my only note. I have 2 notes. No, 3 notes. Not cool. Ramsay is a dick. That knife looks awful. Like,
Yeah.
So
not what for.
right, I think we covered it all. So Theon gets woken up by 2 very attractive ladies. 4 is the boob count.
4th count.
So they, they're talking about his dong and how legendary it is. 1.5. It's worth 1.5. By the way, regular dongs. So, they're like getting hot and heavy, right? Like, and he the whole time he's like, oh man, no, because like if he comes back, this isn't gonna be good. And so they're like, no, it's okay. And just as he's like starting to like let go and get into it, fucking Ramsay blows the horn. And and then
hippie.
and then he comes in and he's like, so we've all heard about the legendary dong you got there. Would you say that it's your most precious part? And he pulls out that knife, and that knife doesn't. No,
I liked how he knocked him down with the fucking horn.
Right,
first.
just smashed him in the face, and then he's like, "No, mercy, mercy." It's like, no,
Don't fucking do it.
Yeah. So, and then we cut away.
Cut away.
I didn't even mean it. So.
Yeah.
Back to Jon and Ygritte, and they come across a windmill. And she's like, oh, is that a tower? And Jon's like, it's...
Palace.
Oh, palace, right. He's like, that's a windmill? And she's like, oh. And he's like, yeah, Winterfell, they got towers 3 times taller than that. And whatever. And so...
Blah.
He uses the word swooning. I don't remember what he said girls would be swooning about.
The size of Winterfell.
Oh, right. And she's like, I don't know what that means. And so he's trying to like explain it to her. And he's like, like when girls see blood. And she's like, what? She's like, girls see more blood than boys. And I'm like, oh, that's a period reference.
That's gross.
So they're, laughing and having like a gay old time. And
Gay old time.
then he like just has this moment of like, I don't know, realization. He's like, you won't win. Like, you guys can't win this. And he tells her the story, like 6 kings beyond the wall have all tried to do this, and no one's ever done it. And she's like, well, Mance is different. And he's like, no, he's not. And then they start making out, and she's like, it doesn't matter. You're mine, I'm yours, yada, yada. And I did like that she says the line, and then in the next scene, Osha says the same line. Like, I like that that's like a wildling kind of saying. So, yeah, so that's kind of it. Because, I mean, she knows that he's gonna, like, she knows that he's not flipped.
Yeah.
And we've known this for a while, that she knows this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just trying desperately to, like, stop him from flipping on her.
Yeah, she's banking on that, throughout it all, it's going to be you and I at the end of it.
Right.
No one else.
But he's sworn vows.
Yeah.
And I mean,
But he's already banged her.
Yeah, but yeah, all right. So this next scene is possibly the best use of Hodor I've ever seen in the show. So Osha's like going on complaining, like, what's he talking about? Why are they always whispering? Yada, yada, yada. And she looks over at Hodor, and he, like, looks at her, like, blank-faced, and he's just like, Hodor? I was actually laughing out loud. It was so good. So she runs over to Jojen and Bran. She's like, you fucking stop talking to him. You're putting shit in his head, and he doesn't need any of it. And, she's like, we're going to the wall. And Jojen's like, Jon Snow's not at the wall. I told you this. She's like, I don't care. We're going to the wall. That's where his family is. And Bran's like, no, I gotta go beyond the wall. And she's like, no, we're not going back there. And then she tells the story of her husband or whatever, because I don't think it was a husband, but they were together, and he left, and she thought he was gone, but he came back, but he was a zombie, and he like choked her, and then she stabbed him, and he barely noticed, and she said she had to burn her hut down with him still inside. So
Pretty drastic.
it was pretty drastic. And like I said, she said the same words. I was his, he was mine. I like that. I like that.
Yeah.
It's a it's a cool thing. So then we go back to Jaime and Qyburn, and they're, on the way back to King's Landing. And he's like fixing up the wound. And Jaime asks, like, what's the purpose of a man with no hand?
Sorry.
That's okay. You're allowed to cough. So, and then Qyburn, like, he's like, oh, why'd they kick you out of the club? Did you sleep with little boys or something? And he's like, oh, no, that's not my thing. He's like, what was it? He's like, to understand disease, you gotta do shit.
Zombies.
Yeah, so yeah, you gotta make the mountain into a zombie. That's what you gotta do. So he tells him, that he experimented on dudes, and
Yeah, he did.
Jaime is like, well, that's not right, blah blah blah. And then Qyburn's like, well, how many guys have you killed? And then they get to countless, and Jaime's like, yeah, countless. I like the sound of that. And he's like, well, how many lives have you saved? And Jaime's like, 500,000. Qyburn looks at him. He's like, yeah, the population of King's Landing. And that kind of shut up that conversation.
Yep.
So then Jaime says, oh, you were taking care of the ravens at Harrenhal, right? And he's like, yeah. And he's like, did you send the one to Brienne's dad? And he's like, yep. And one came back and it said, they'll offer 300 gold for Brienne. And Jaime's like, oh, that's a fair amount of money. And Qyburn's like, well, Locke thought it was kind of a slight since he got the idea in his head that they have all the sapphires in Westeros. And Jaime's like,
oh crap.
Whoops.
The bitch.
So he's like, oh, we got to go back. So he goes to the dude, the Bolton dude, and he's like, yeah, we got to go back. And the guy's like, no, I'm taking you to King's Landing, and that's it. And he's like, well, if we go back and I tell my daddy that you cut my hand off, what do you think he's going to do?
He's going to cut your head off.
He's going to cut your head off. So we're going back.
Mm-hmm.
So they go back. And Brienne's fighting a bear.
With a stick.
With a wooden sword.
It's a twig.
And that bear is fucking her up. So Jaime decides he's going to Ron Burgundy it and jump into the bear pit.
And he says the infamous line.
And when he gets down there, he's like, I immediately regret this decision.
There's another increment joke in there, too, because it's Brienne in the pit.
Yeah.
Because the bear smells the...
Right, exactly. I guess.
Great, bears, you hear that? Bears.
Now you put the whole station in jeopardy. So then Jaime's like, hey, stand behind me. And so she gets behind him, and the bear's like just about to attack, and it gets hit with a crossbow bolt. And like everybody in the crowd's like, oh, what the fuck? And the dude's like, no, man, I got to get him back to King's Landing. I'm not letting him die.
This is not happening.
Yeah, so they pull him up, and Locke's like, she belongs to me. And Jaime's like, well, you're going to have to kill me. And what do you think matters more? You getting her or me getting back to King's Landing? Because my daddy will be really mad if I don't make it back.
My dad.
So they let him go. He's got it. Like, he stops with the daddy stuff after this, right? Like, that was like...
Well, because daddy dies.
Well, daddy doesn't die for a while. Daddy doesn't die for a whole another season. So...
No, he's not really in peril.
Right.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's right. So he doesn't need to use his daddy.
Yeah.
That's like one thing that's bothered me the most about him this season is the daddy thing. Because he's used it like
all the time.
Every time he needs to. Just be a man. So that was the episode.
Tyrion too.
Yeah, but I don't know if Tyrion uses it to get out of trouble the same way. Because he doesn't use my daddy. He uses more
my
like
family.
Right. I'm a Lannister. Right. We always pay our debts. That's a different thing. So.
Yeah.
All right. Anyways, that's the end of the episode. Did we all watch the new trailer?
I have not. I was trying to load it up before.
40-second
so
one.
Good.
The problem is there was really nothing new in it. It was all too quick.
The only thing new in it was that line.
What line?
From Jaqen to Arya.
Oh, I didn't catch it. What did he say?
The gods will be paid a face.
Right. That's right.
The hall will get another face, one way or another.
The hall's gonna get a bunch of faces this season.
But I think it's more or less like a Arya. It's going to be your face, or you're going to give us one.
Right. Well, she should have just given them Meryn, right?
Wow.
I mean, doesn't that count?
It may be, but I think they're looking for somebody a little bit bigger.
Yeah. Well, we'll see what happens.
And all the promo pics.
Right. So, what I'm going to do before season 6 starts, if it's okay with you guys,
I don't know.
I'm gonna compile our prognostications from last season, and we're gonna actually go through them again because I listened to them, and we are fucking dumb.
No.
And I don't know if hindsight is 20/20 and new information has come to light that we may need to like go back and rethink a couple things, because like how long one of the questions was how long does the Grand Sparrow, no, what's his name, the High Sparrow,
High Sparrow,
how long does he last this season? And I think Tay said the whole season. I think Mark said the whole season. And I don't know about you guys, and I know I said a while. I don't think he's lasting very long. But again, there was other stuff like the Clegane Bowl. We were like, we poo-pooed it. All of us were like, no, the Hound's not coming back. I think he is.
You think that's what Ian McShane's doing?
Well, what else could it be?
I have an idea, but I can't tell you.
Okay. There's your book smugness again.
Hold on, I need to push my glasses up.
Thank you. Very good.
Yeah, there's another smug... But I think we've talked about it before, because I think you know the character...
Lady Stoneheart? No.
No, there's another character that has never been in the show as an alive person.
Okay. Interesting.
And you might not even know them, because they really don't even ever mention them, but they're a huge deal. Huge.
Then it doesn't matter to the people who watch the show.
Yeah.
Which is what he said, is that he brings back someone that people thought were dead.
I guess in the show you never thought they were alive.
And then the other thing we discuss is Stannis being alive or dead. And I think
He's
you guys
alive.
You guys all said and you're sticking by that?
I am sticking by that.
Okay. You said
Show
yes.
me the body.
Mark said yes. I know I said no. I said I hope I'm wrong, but I said no, that he's dead. And Tyler, I can't remember what you said, but it was
I said no, but I don't remember.
Again, because we've got 27 days or something.
Yeah, because did you hear that Ian McShane quote about seeing his friends?
Yes.
So did you talk about this yet?
Yep, we sort of did. Yeah, he wanted to work with his friends, Charles Dance.
Yeah, sure. I'll be able to see my old pals, Charles Dance and Stephen Delane, and they said no, we've killed them off.
Yeah.
So now I'm a little bit more skeptical because if Ian McShane says Stannis is dead,
right?
Now I feel like Stannis is dead, but I'm standing by my he isn't. Show me a body.
I agree. Show me a body, but
I think they're going to show you a body.
Everyone thinks that the flayed man in that first trailer is Stannis. Everyone I've talked to thinks that's Stannis. Which doesn't make any sense because he wasn't killed by the Boltons.
But he was killed around there, wasn't he?
Yeah, but he wasn't killed by the Boltons, so they're taking credit for it. Bran fucking did it. After he murdered two of their guys. After they did the leg cut. Anyways. Alright, anyways. I think we've rambled on enough for this week. So thanks for checking us out. Remember to like us on YouTube and subscribe on YouTube. Like us on Facebook. Like us on Twitter. Follow us on Twitter. All that fun stuff. And we'll catch you guys next week.